The first question anybody from the outside always asks you is, how do you get that picture that big? And that is like, it's instinct, isn't it? You walk to the wall, there's already a point in your head where you go to that canvas and you make your mark and a perspective from that. And it turned me on because of the scale of it and what you could do with it. How can you work so close to the wall and know what's going on down here?
I was attracted to the art form by its lack of respect for everything, basically, in my eyes. It's kind of, I had this bit of a destructive personality at a certain point, and I liked the way that it sort of like rebelled against things. It's an egotistical thing about wanting your name in more places, wanting your name bigger and better than the other people that you're in competition with.
The main thing about illegal graffiti is the buzz. Well, there is a buzz, definitely. I mean, people might tell you otherwise, but to go out in the early hours of the morning when other people are asleep, to go up to some surface, be it a train or a wall, that's completely bland and boring, and just transform it into something that's colourful, that to me is a bit of a buzz.
It's like music or something. If something's really interesting and it really kind of explodes in a big city in the world like London or New York or somewhere, people will look at it and like the whole scene and want to be part of it.
New York was graffiti, but we didn't see the big breakdown behind it. We didn't know there was that crack problem. We didn't know there was that with it that provoked people to go and do that. Graffiti is more colourful in today's society now because there's more to write about it. What they're doing now and what they're painting, what they're trying to say with their graffiti, it means something to the environment they live in. It's a raw object, being able to just do so many things.
I think the spray can's just spontaneous. You don't have to do anything prior to that. I mean, we do outlines on paper, but you can just pick a can up and go to a wall and you're away.
You know, an artist with a paintbrush can do a lot. Free artist with an aerosol can do a lot more.
I use a variety of different spray cans, some of it being professional art paint, but at the same point I use sort of like £1, £2 a can, really cheap car paint. If it comes out of a spray can, we'll use it. Sometimes you're given a name, you know, someone might be called Fatty and they end up writing Fatty, you know. Somebody sort of, you know, might change the name so Fatty becomes F1 or Fat1, or they might turn it the other way around so it's Taff.
I mean, it's like a nom de plume. You don't know who's behind that name. All you know is that name, and that's all that matters.
Illegal graffiti is entirely the reason that I started being involved with aerosol art.
I think the art side of it that I do with the pieces on the walls, it's part of one scene, but then again there is the bombing which can make it negative, but you need the bombing. Like I said before, you've got to have the bombing. Everyone starts off on that.
I doubt if anybody's ever walked into a train station and thought, oh, what a magnificently painted red, white and blue striped train. So I mean, as far as somebody putting a colourful piece of art on the panels, then it's not something really that bothers me. If people want to be offended by it, that's their small-mindedness. Being on the underground system is quite dangerous in itself. To be, you know, sort of like ducking into tunnels as trains are going past and stuff in the middle of the night with the cleaning trains, and kind of like hiding sort of like 1 foot away next to it from a live rail, jumping across them, going into the train yards. There's various dangers. As I said, that's more an attraction than anything else, to be quite honest with most people. People have died doing it.
I've got personal friends who've actually been inside with them, like served sentences just for pure graffiti, which I find amazing to me. I mean, you've got these guys that are just doing they're doing trains predominantly, that's the main offence. And they're sending them to prison, they're coming out doing burglaries.
I know people that have done 6 months inside and basically tagged up the train on the ride back into London. I think that in the environment of people putting graffiti art into galleries and exhibitions, it is totally tamed. To me, it's something completely different. This is big, you know, it's large-scale artwork, and it's better in its environment, not used as a reflection of the environment it comes from.
It's a window, isn't it? A canvas is a window, a look in. That's what people forget. The canvas is a window, it's a look in, through an eye, you know, through a square. No different than that window. Something exists around the corner of it.
Yeah, I think it's the only reason it ever got any exposure in the art world is because of its illegality. And the reason that it hasn't maintained an interest in the art world is because it was only really exposed because of the gimmick of being such an illegal art form, and now they've lost interest in it, and there isn't really, like I said, any way in which they can repackage it and resell it.
I think the main reason that the art world hasn't embraced sort of our art is because they don't understand it. They just think we're a bunch of young thugs going around doing like this horrible mess on the side of trains and walls and canvases perhaps.
Plus the fact that the main form of art within this world is lettering, and to them lettering only has a certain amount of interest. So once they've seen one piece of lettering, it's too intricate for them to look at 100,000 different developments on the letter.
When the window's gone, we're still there. There's still skinheads in Glasgow. There's still punk. There's still all of these things. There's still graffiti writers going out in the dead of night painting.
You know, I never had any real artistic tendencies, and through aerosol art and stuff, I developed some. I developed a way in which to express myself, and that's something that I am indebted to it for.
What did you start it for? What did you feel like when you first had that can in your hand? Were you thinking about rivals then? Was you thinking about this and that then? You were thinking about expressing yourself. That's the main thing.
If you're dedicated to it, go out there and do it. And if you're not really dedicated, then please leave it alone.